Okay, you're going.
Hello, let's introduce Victor Gassmann,
Hi.
expert chef, and he's gonna show me how to make a pie dough.
And eventually we're going to put peach and apricot inside.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of Crisco.
Can we start with 4 cups of flour?
Sure, we can start with that.
I can't eat that anymore.
Right there.
All right. 4 cups. Ooh, it's chilled.
It's chilled.
Nice.
4 chilled cups of flour. 2 chilled cups of Crisco. And you can break this up. It doesn't have to be one long video. And I'll put it together later. So that's good for now.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Vegetable shortening.
Uncle Victor's getting the 2 cups of Crisco in there, which have been chilled in the fridge.
And the chilling is to keep the gluten in the wheat or the flour from sticking to itself and making a tough pastry. So if we use cold water and cold Crisco and cold flour, those proteins don't stick together and you get a nice flaky pastry.
Good. All right, and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of salt to this
Flour.
flour.
The baby's big now.
Yeah, he's 3 feet tall.
1, 2.
He's almost 2 years.
Stir a little bit around.
I saw him on Saturday.
All right.
Yeah, a little bit heavy on that Crisco here. Looks pretty good. Okay, Crisco into the pot. There we go.
Like Grandma Hall used to say, clean as you cook.
Clean as you cook, and then you don't have a big mess when you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a coloranza?
Yeah.
But the light one? No.
Nope.
Oh, they're hiding.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they do that a lot. They don't actually
Okay,
roll.
that's good.
Cutting the shortening into the flour, we wind up with small particles of shortening, each one of them coated with flour. And then to get them to stick together, we use ice water, just enough to get the particles to adhere to one another, but not enough to activate. Well, we won't mix it enough to activate the gluten. Okay, so use your mixer a little bit, kind of flip the bowl so you get the flour underneath back up onto the top. Mix it a little bit more. A round bottom bowl works really good for this, so that you can flip it. This is a good bowl here. And we're almost there. Some people say you cut in the shortening until it's the texture of coarse cornmeal. That's about right. What you don't want is a great big glob, one solid glob of shortening and flour. That looks good there, but we've still got some big particles underneath, so we'll mix it a little bit. That's looking really good. No extra flour, and all the shortening particles are separate. So now what we'll do is we'll use a little ice water. We stick them together before we put them on some saran wrap, wrap it up and stick it in the refrigerator to set or chill. Here comes the ice water.
1 cup of ice water. It's already pre-measured.
So we got 4 cups flour, 2 cups shortening, 1 cup ice water, 2 teaspoons of salt.
Not going as smoothly as yesterday. That's all right.
And then we've punched a couple little holes here in the top of this so that it'll spray.
5.
Sprinkle. You sprinkle the surface,
You know how to make.
gather it up into little clumps. And as it clumps together, we're going to pull it out and stick it on the saran wrap for chilling. A little more water.
Kind of like cheese curds.
Yeah, it's like cheese
Curds of
curds.
cheese. That's what it kind of looks like.
Okay, so that's good. Take that piece out.
Yes, then we do it. No.
That's good. We'll take that out.
And there's 2 layers of layers of saran wrap here, and they're overlapping, so it makes one big piece.
I don't see the no dog.
Does it look right?
It looks good.
Okay.
Looks really good. We might have a little bit of water left over.
Okay.
Just like brothers. Those 3 dogs.
They love each other, mostly for chewing on.
They'll settle down and read more than.
Now we're going to add a little bit of water to this to stick all these curds together. Yeah, I think we have a little more water than we need here.
Okay. Might have melted the ice a little bit.
Oh, yeah. This looks real good. Okay, now we're ready for the refrigerator. We'll leave this in the refrigerator while we prepare the filling for the pie. Let it chill a little bit.
You can find a spot in there. Otherwise, you got it? Okay. That's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so here we go with the fruit pie. We're going to roll out the pastry, which has been chilling for about an hour and a half now. We'll flour a cloth first so that it doesn't stick, and we put it on a cloth so that we can pick it up easily after it's rolled out. This is a 4-cup flour pastry, enough for a big pie, which is what we're going to make here. This is what, how many inches is this?
9.5 inches.
9.5 inch pie plate. And it's deep. It's a deep pie plate. Okay.
So you cut it, what, 7/16?
Yeah, more or less. You need more for the bottom crust than for the top crust. So we're not going to go right in the middle here. We're going to use this piece for the bottom, and it's a little bit more than we'll need for the top because it's got to go down inside the plate on the sides. And you want it to hang over a little bit so that you can roll it to seal the edge. Okay, a little flour on my hand so it doesn't stick. Round it a little bit just to get started. Maybe put a little flour on it so it's not sticky.
Like you're making a loaf of bread.
There we go.
I'll try and hold it.
A little more flour. You don't want it sticking to the rolling pin.
I guess this cloth isn't the best cloth.
You have better luck if you go from the center of the dough to the outside rather than go from the outside across all the way across, because you're pushing it into the middle. What we're doing is we're stretching it out and we're working the dough as little as possible so that the gluten doesn't bind and make the dough tough. When the pastry starts stretching back, after you roll it out, if it pulls back, you've overworked the dough. So long as it's not pulling back, like it's not pulling back right now, you're pretty much guaranteed that you're going to have a flaky crust. You know, let's try that for size. That looks about right. So what we do is we flip up a third of it. I learned this from an old Navy guy.
What was his name?
Bob. They call him Bobby. Bob and Marilyn. They live in the mobile home park. Okay, pick that up. Set it on the pie plate. And we can kind of unfold it. See how it's going to fit. Oh yeah, that's nice. Whoops. Whoops. Kind of tearing apart a little bit. We'll fix that. Nice pastry.
So when it tears, you just push it back together?
Well, you can get it wet with a little bit of milk or water, kind of glue it together. This is a very tender pastry. This is more tender than most of them. This would be a nice pie. It's going to be very flaky.
put some glue around this one.
Yeah, good. A little piece up here too. Okay, that
Oh,
looks
Victor's in the tradition of the Gassmann family
baking pies.
baking. When my papier, our grandfather, came to this country from France, his first company was a French bakery in San Francisco. You could show that picture. There it is, Gassmann's French Bakery on Fillmore Street in San Francisco.
Okay, looks like we're gonna need to add a little bit over here. I have to get some filling in here while I roll out the top crust.
My grandfather learned baking, a bakery business from my grandmother's, his wife's dad. When he first came to the country, he was employed by the Pimentel Portuguese bakery. And once he got married and bought his own bakery, it was a French bakery.
So he learned the business from the inside.
So was that Lucian Gassmann, and did he marry Rosie Pimentel?
Yes.
I didn't realize that he had worked for her dad.
Yeah.
That's cute. That's a cute story.
And they went to, he learned English by going with her to movies, theaters. But knowing him, he probably did more than just study English in the Dork Theater.
Yeah, we had a little pastry left over. Now what we could do is sprinkle that with cinnamon sugar like Morgan likes to do, and put those in the oven to make little cinnamon cookies.
All right, here's the bottom. Now he's gonna attack the top.
Yeah. Let's put a little more flour on that. A lot of flour. And just get it started. Oh, it's more of a square than a circle, isn't it? Well, it looks like it'll cover it.
Even if you stop the air conditioner, keep going, make it.
Okay. Put some fruit in there. Hey Nick, come tell us about this fruit. How many cups is it?
Okay, so I poured out 4 cups of frozen apricots. When they defrosted, of course, they probably became 3 cups. And 4 cups of Henry peaches,
Fresh peaches.
fresh Henry peaches that came off the tree in the backyard. And they're kind of a firm peach. See, this is August. We're into the August now. And
It's a late.
the Albertas, yeah, it's kind of a late-ish peach. The Albertas are all gone. And they're more of a soft peach. This is more of a firm peach.
Maybe I should have trimmed that a little bit before I picked it up.
Oh, let me paint
Oh,
the
yeah,
edges.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. We want that to seal really well, so get it wet with milk or water
Or egg white.
or egg white. Did you want me to throw some butter in there?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I usually do it in the bottom.
Oh,
That's okay.
how much do you want in there?
That's, yeah, a couple pats.
That's kind of all there is here.
I got another cube outside if she needs some for her breakfast. Okay, it's nice and sticky.
All right. Spread them out a little bit.
Yeah, you want to make a trough around the outside and more of a mountain on the inside?
No.
No? In case it comes out and it doesn't go over the side, it stays around the...
Hopefully this will be sealed well enough that it.
Okay.
Looks like we're going to be short a little bit right here. I didn't center that very well, did I? I don't think I can move it, Nick. It's going to tear apart.
Yep.
Okay, we'll just go with it where it is. This is going to be one flaky pie.
Very tender.
Very tender.
Definitely not a Safeway pie. Crust.
No.
Could have moved that pretty easy.
I don't know why I'm rushing. I'm hurrying this. Not too much here.
So you're curling up the edges.
Yeah, there's another word, fluting.
Fluting.
Fluting the edges.
Making a little dam.
Yeah, so anything that comes up out of the middle will be caught and won't run into the oven.
You set it on a pie tray? Or a cookie tray? Big
Yeah,
cookie?
yeah, that's a good backup. Just in case it does boil over. We can put it on a cookie tray and catch any spills that way too.
Is this heating? It's not heating. What was it? 375, 325?
350.
Oh, I said 375 here. 350 I like better. I always get a little bit brown on mine.
Do you need a pen?
Hmm?
Do you need a pen?
Oh, I have them.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Do you want to change it on your recipe? So 350?
You know what? It's not a bad idea.
Okay, now we'll kind of seal the pastry by brushing it with milk. Think we'll get tons of views. There's a lot of people on the internet making pies.
There are a lot of people on the internet.
I
Yeah.
couldn't believe this morning when I searched for Blum on YouTube. Man, there's a lot of videos. I mean, just regular Joes. They say they have their own video, they have their own YouTube site and everything, but they're very amateurish.
Oh.
But a lot of them, and just a couple years ago, there was nothing. It's just exploded. Well, they made it really easy for people to have their own channel. Even I have a channel.
I think that's nice.
This will go on the channel eventually, I think.
Okay, so now we'll cut some slits in it. You want to be decorative, you might do slits like the type of fruit that's in it. We'll do a peach. A little leaf up here. Now these slits are to let the steam out so that it doesn't break this fluted edge. We want the fluted edge to hold in any kind of liquid that might come boiling out. And that's how we know it's done. When the fruit inside is boiling. And then we have an apricot here. Put another little leaf in there. Then we know it's done. You want to leave this in the
Should I put
oven.
in the sugar?
And hopefully, yeah, let's do it over the sink. So. Wonderful. Okay, you think the oven's ready yet, or should we wait?
It's 220.
Oh, I guess we will. Let it warm up a little bit. I don't like fooling with this.
Okay.
Can I
Do
just
you
throw
want
it
to fool
away?
with it?
Sure.
She wants to fool with it.
Okay.
How do we cook it?
So,
Piece of aluminum foil?
yeah, on a cookie sheet.
Or cookie sheet?
I'll get a piece of foil.
Yeah, get the plastic wrap.
Is it okay to go the same time as the pie?